Good day, ladies and gentlemen, you know the drill. Bunch of shorts, I give review, give a little summary, give some stars, and you slap the like button to appease the Bat Moon. Starting off with Zograt by Andy Clark. This is a direct prequel to Bathelloren and follows everyone's favorite spiteful gobbo, Zograt. Since this takes place before the events of Bathelloren, the clan is still under the control of Scram, and Zograt is still considered the most pathetic runt of the pack. Despite all that, he is sent on a quest to retrieve a magical mushroom from a monster-infested forest, as the Gobblepalooza claims that they need to get it to stay in the Batman's favor. The story itself is a pretty funny tale with some nice tongue-in-cheek world building. There's a whole bunch of gobble-speak and goblin wordplay, which some people will find awesome while others will probably find it a bit annoying, but I'm definitely adding every graw to my ever-expanding list of Age of Sigmar speak. However, where this story truly shines is as an epilogue prequel to the actual novel. This short is filled with great nods and foreshadowing to the novel, which you will only really get after reading Bathelloren. The ending forms a great transition back to the start of the novel, and it even goes a long way to explaining why the Bat Moon favors Zograt so much. So while I'd give it a 4 to 5 clammy hands as a standalone story, it is really a 5-star story if you read it after reading Bathelloren. On the other side of the quality spectrum, but also involving a moon, is The House of Moons by Jeremy Lambert. There's elves, there's Zinj demons, they don't get along. Then the short starts off by introducing a theme of guilt and trauma, but it doesn't do anything with it. For the rest, it's just a poorly written bolter porn between boringly described Lumineth, Fireslayers and demons. There's no reason for this story to exist, and the writing style is somehow worse than mine. 1 to 5 moons. Fangs of the Rustwood by Evan Dicken. This sees a witch hunter escorting 3 suspects through a spider-fang goblin-infested forest, or at least they attempt to do so. It shows some of the cunning and fighting style of the spider-fang, but also contains a whodunit mystery regarding the 3 prisoners. After all, one of them likely killed the governor of their city. Now this story is more focused on the latter than on the actual goblins, but the mystery was entertaining enough. It could have used a bit more twists and turns, as the reveal is a bit too quick in my opinion, but altogether it's alright. The ending was solid, the world building of the Camonite forest was pretty cool, and it was fun to see some spider goblins in action. Solid 3 to 5 stars. Then The Offering by Andy Clark. This is another gobbo story by Andy Clark, but unlike the humorous vibe of Zograt and Bathelloren, this story is a lot more akin to the dark horror vibes of Gloomspite. In a forgotten village in Camon, the villagers bring a tenth of their harvest to a mushroom-infected tree each year. This offering is made to ward off the mythical grobby Blackencap, who will come to take your life if you don't bring him an offering on Noster Night. During this darkest night of the year, the villagers thus place their food and riches near the tree and hide in their homes until the light of Aish returns the next morning. At least that is what they usually do, but things change as a money-embezzling Azurite is sent to act as their next major. And of course he would rather line his own pockets with this than believe in those peasant folktales. Andy Clark is a talent for writing about the Gloomspite, and whether he does that in a slapstick funny way or in a very ominous horrific way, it is always a pleasure to read about. The Offering, while it focuses a bit more on the human side of things, is no exception and shows some very potent horror elements. I also really like how much of an asshole the main character is portrayed as, while also remaining rather competent in his entire money-stealing shenanigans. Finally, the ending was also great, but I'll leave you to read it for yourself. Definitely 5 to 5 puff caps for this short. Then The Old Ways by Nick Horth. This is a very Witcher-like story that features Callus and Toll as they try to solve the murder of a son of a nobleman in some backwater swamp. The nobleman claims that his son was killed by the troops of his rival, but things aren't that simple. Now this is a Callus and Toll short, so if you like their books then you will also like this. If not, then probably not. The writing style is very similar, but different from the main novels is that the setting is a lot more grounded and the stakes significantly lower. It is an old school Witcher hunter story that shows some of the more unknown places in Age of Sigmar, and I'm giving it 3 to 5 dead suns. 4 to 5 dead suns if you may number. Anyways, the final gobbo tale of tonight is Shriekstone by Evan Dicken, which sees High Creeper Radgob try to overcome an army of Fireslayers that are trying to reclaim their mountain. Considering the massive size of the army, he has to get tricksy and make sure to bleed the stunties for each cave they retake. This story starts off rather amazing with the world building and internal monologue of Radgob. It displays many interesting aspects of not just goblin society, but Shriekstone's culture in particular, and not to mention that Radgob's speech is really top notch. We then get to the actual siege, during which the story just slowly starts to die out. Radgob shows some interesting tactics, and it was cool to see the goblins in action. However, it turns into an anime fest of Radgob and the Fire Slayers taking turn to Deus Ex Machina some new counterspell out of their ass. It is like one of those games you play as a kid, where you go, "I have a T-Rex," and then someone replies, "I send in a T-Rex eater," and you go, "Well, yes, but my Rex is coated in anti-T-Rex eater venom." It is fun for a while, but it gets boring quickly, and this short spends a very long time on such action scenes. That still would have been fine if the ending had been a solid payoff, but instead it kinda just fizzles out in a disappointing conclusion to a story that had lost its fire after the first couple pages. Altogether, I give it 2 to 5 stars because on top of all that, it also suffers from feeling really fragmented, almost as if it wasn't finished yet when it was published. But for hardcore Goblin fans, it might still be worth looking into, just to get a better feel for Gloomspite combat tactics. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Have a nice evening, and don't forget to place your offering, lest Grubby Blackencap comes to get you. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and click ringing the bell to appease the Great Horned Rat. For more lore content, please check my main channel and leave any book recommendations in the comments down below. I gotta get back to reading the next book.